Hi, everybody. This is Joy Lingerie, and you're listening to the Matured Musicians Group. Today, we have two guests. We have Troy Moss and Terry Moss from from the Sweet Thang and the Stumblers group band. I'm not sure how you describe yourselves. And I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, and he is not here. Hold on a minute. I got the wrong screen, guys. Before we start, and after I give the commercial here, I do want to wish everybody a Happy New Year and hope your holidays are going really great for you today, even though there's snow and lots of it in the Northwest. So today, I would like to introduce our Luscious Moss sponsor. Chad Chris is the owner and operator. Well, I could talk once, of Luscious Moss Studio, and it's located in Edgewood, Washington. He caters mostly to production of for drummers and guitarists, but he does do other things. He's produced my songs, and he tries to create the kind of environment that is conducive to collaboration, and he does that quite well at Luscious Moss. He's got quite a setup there. So with that being said, and me wanting to dig into this like ice cream or some really good treat, I'm going to start with Terry Moss today and ask her how she got into music and when her earliest beginnings were.
Well, I would say that I got into music through writing, really. When I was younger, in my early junior high years, I would just write all my thoughts down on paper. I did play the flute for several years, but that wasn't really something I could join into a band with. And so, but I've always had poetry, it just running through my head, middle of the night, it happens. And so, I really got into actually recording and putting some of those thoughts to music when Troy and I met. When we got together, not when we met, because we knew each other in high school, but we actually got together. Mm-hmm. He had a little four track in his little studio house, and we would drink big coolers and record, and we actually danced to our poetry that we made into songs at our wedding. So, and just throughout the years, I've assisted him with lyrically, and we've written some songs throughout the years. And I was just a backup singer at one point in one of his bands, but this is the first time I've ever been in a band, like band.
All right. Yeah. So how long have you been together? I mean,
us as a couple?
Music. Yeah, well, both actually, but creating music.
34 years as a couple. And creating music, gosh, well, ever since we got together, 34 years, we've been creating music. So, but not in a band. It was Sweet Thang and the Stumblers. It's been 3 years now. Okay. My memories are coming up on my Facebook to remind me because I don't know.
Yeah, I hear that. And Troy, moving along here, what is your background in music? How did you get started, and how did you and Terry meet as far as musically, and what was some of the first projects that you had?
So I started playing, I think, around 1977. We lived in rural Alabama, not a whole lot to do. My mom always had a piano around and a guitar laying around. So from lack of other things to do, we just started picking up that guitar and learning how to play, me and my brothers. And we learned together. And so I started gigging when I was 14 years old when we moved to Puyallup. Started playing shows. And I've been active since. I've taken a little bit of breaks here and there. So Terry and I met in 1986, and we immediately started writing and recording on that 4-track, like she mentioned.
Is that here? Did you meet here? And I know you said you knew each other in Alabama, so I'm a little confused.
No, we met here in Puyallup in the 80s at Puyallup High School.
Oh, okay. So local high school. You're not thinking Alabama. I don't know much about Alabama, so I don't really know the music scene. What you play the guitar, Troy? Are you the lead for the band?
So I play guitar, play mandolin as well, and I'm also a bass player, though I don't play anything with the band on the bass. Yeah.
All right. And
Yeah.
so when
Yeah.
did your training for that start? What part of your life was that? In your younger days, or did that come in your teen years or later?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. When I start playing what? Guitar?
Yeah. When you started with musical instruments, so what period of your life did you begin
Yeah,
playing?
I was probably 12, I guess, maybe a little younger. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when the two of you got together, you decided to start recording together, but you had a band at that time and she was a backup singer or the lead singer?
So I was in a band at the time, but it wasn't until many years later that she started singing with us. But Terry's always been my writing partner. Whenever I'm writing songs and I come to a dead end spot, she's always been that sounding board, and especially lyrically,
Yeah.
has been a big collaborator of mine since day one. Yeah.
Terry, how does this all happen? You just have all these things just going through your head all the time, or?
Yeah, Troy does too. It's just in the I don't know. I always write in the shower, which is really weird. And and I always forget to bring my phone in. So I'm always like, running out with the towel dripping all over the place and grabbing my phones because the music comes to me and I'll get a nice chorus going and whatnot. So um, that's how I write without an instrument. So my voice is my instrument. And so, but I didn't really start writing with my voice is until I got into this band as much. I would just lyrically write. And then Troy would do all the melody lines and stuff on his guitars.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we collaborate really well. So now what happens is they get to listen to me singing something and try and put music to it. So
Yeah,
it's
I hear you.
they do a good job.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. Yeah. So I don't know what Alabama plays. I did live in West Virginia for a while. I guess that's not really the South, but it has its own flavor of music. And especially, I don't know. I really don't know what kind of music I'd call West Virginia music, but I've never really heard anything from Alabama per se. And so I understand that some of your music is based on the things that you've heard in the past and things that come to your mind as you create songs. Is this correct? Or
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
okay.
It's a lot of the songs are written about the nostalgia of the South. So it's just my interpretation of my experiences. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Joy, have you heard of the band Leonard Skinner? I mean,
Yeah.
Sweet Thang doesn't resemble that, but that's sort of like the roots of where Troy, that Southern rock type.
Yeah. Southern rock.
That's
Yeah.
what his
Okay.
roots are from Southern rock for sure. Yeah,
All
so
right.
he's expanded out. And this band is acoustic only, so it's definitely
Oh,
not Leonard Skinner.
you also have a steel, is that correct?
You do, a pedal steel player who
Yeah.
also plays the fiddle and also is the dobro is going to be
Oh,
our
yes.
new instrument added. So and the banjo.
And
Can't forget the banjo. Dang banjo. Can't get rid of that thing.
So you have, and what was this man's name? The one that does this, plays the banjo and.
Mark Westoff.
Okay, Mark Restoff.
He's amazing.
Okay, and then who plays your bass?
Phil Suggs plays bass. He also plays guitar as well.
And
Yeah.
Kevin Bell plays bass too. So
Right. We do a lot of switching around.
a lot of switching.
Okay, so when you 3 years ago, I think you told me that you started with Sweet Thang and the Stumblers. I got a couple of comments here before I asked that question. Somebody said, "Hi, guys," about 1 minute after we started. It didn't leave their name. I don't know who it is. And then another one tuned in about a minute after that. And I have somebody else here that says, "I am Troy and Terry's illegitimate son. I am their #1 fan."
That has to be Ray.
Ray Hayden again.
Is it Ray?
He
No?
doesn't identify himself, so I'm assuming if you know who he is.
That has to be him. That's good.
Oh my goodness. I kind of lost my train of thought there. But when you got this band together 3 years ago, given your backgrounds, are the people, the bass player, let's see, wait a minute. There's Terry and Troy, Mark, and what was the other one?
Kevin and Phil. Kevin and Phil.
Okay, what does Phil do?
Upright bass, and he plays guitar.
Yeah. Okay. And so these guys, are they from the South as well, or are they taking?
No, everyone's from Washington State. Mark and Phil are both from the East Side, the Yakima area.
Yeah.
Kevin was raised here, went to Rogers High School. Matter of fact,
we knew Kevin in high school.
When I started playing bass when I was 14, Kevin gave me my first bass lesson.
Oh my gosh.
I've known Kevin since I was 14.
Wow. We just got another comment. He said, "Oh, I'm going to have to repeat the word. Raymond, I don't like you." he said, "Damn it, it's Ray." Oh, the FCC isn't watching, okay? So when you guys start to collaborate, and it sounds to me like a lot of this came from your family jams, some people that you knew when you got together, and I'm familiar with this kind of thing, and started jamming. How does this flavor come across? Is it through both you and Terry and Troy, or is it through all of you collaborating together that you get the sound that you have?
Go ahead.
Whoever.
I'll take it. So it is definitely from all of us. So in the fam jams, it's real important that everyone participates. So we'll have really young people. We'll have my mother. And if you can't, if you don't play an instrument, you can just call out a song. So we go around the circle and play all kinds of music. Everything.
You have to sing it if you're going to call it out.
Anything goes.
Okay. If you call it, you sing it.
We do the band this kind of the same way. We just go around the circle. Everyone gets the opportunity to lead, introduce their song or whatever it is they want to do. And we just get behind that. That's why we really do have almost like 5 different styles, because we have 5.
Yeah, you got all that input coming in. So I was asking Terry earlier how she would classify this music. And let's see, what was the words that you used for that, Terry?
Well, we call it gypsy grass, but it's really like indie gypsy grass acoustic, with some, I don't know, Irish flair. We have some Irish songs too. So
cool. Yeah, I used to belong to this group of older folks who met at an antique store in the Shoreline area, and we'd all get together, and some wild stuff came out of there. So I like those impromptus where you just do anything. Yeah, absolutely. And apparently it's a good exercise in order to be able to get a lot of different kinds of sounds together and incorporate those. I mean, even though you may not know it in these jams, most likely they are beginning to mesh together to create some of the things that you're singing, in which I absolutely love your music. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, I've never been on the traditional country. I've sing it. I've had a band, so I've done it all, but it was just too slow, and it lacked something. But I like the spirit the stuff that you guys do, but what really interests me is not just the music that you sing and the way you sing it and the way you play it, but your videos. How in the world do you get those videos?
Well, we
Oh,
have a wonderful videographer, Chris
really?
Cruz, with creative. Um, it's creative. What is it,
Yeah.
Troy? Huh?
Cruise Creative is the name of his company. Yeah.
Cruz Creative.
Oh, really? Where are they from? Are they local or
Tacoma.
Tacoma? I've
Yes.
never heard of them. I need some videos.
Yes, he is fantastic. Yes.
Okay.
Does great work. Great work.
Can you leave that information on the website or in my messengers so that I can
I
take
will.
a look?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there was I can't remember the name of the song. Please forgive me. I'm not quite that familiar with all of your songs, but there's one that there was some gypsy dancing in. What was the name of that song?
Gypsy dance.
Gypsy dance. Well, of course. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
there's
I
a
just
story behind that song,
really
actually.
okay.
Yeah. So Troy and I, we were at practice, and we were the first up into the practice room, and Mark was up there, and he was playing something on his pedal steel, and both Troy and I are like, wow, what is that?
Ah,
No, that is so cool. And so we walk in, we're listening to it, and we're just like, man, we got to do a song. We have to create a song from that, what you're doing right there. And he just looked at us and went, what? He goes, this is my warm-up routine. I'm like, well, it needs to be a song. So
that's
we
so
all did it. We all made a song, and that's Gypsy Dance.
yeah, this reminds me of something Roger Fisher had done, and his brother Michael heard him, and it became oh shoot, I can't Barracuda.
Oh,
They were playing a few riffs, and Michael says, "You guys need to get that out there, make it." Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but that's how it happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So during COVID, I mean, I don't know. I haven't. I try to cover the music scene as best I can, as far as um, who's playing what and where. And I haven't seen a whole lot from you guys. So, well, how often would you say you gig, and how did that change during the COVID period?
So Troy, do you want to take that?
So during COVID, we hung pretty low, because really live music was virtually banned for quite a while.
Yeah.
We did do a few little things, like for instance, a buddy of mine owns a cidery, or a buddy of ours owns a cidery in Puyallup, and he has an adjoining property. And we set up on the adjoining property and put our speakers on the other side of the fence for the people enjoying the cidery. So we got in a few little shows like that.
Aha.
But really,
Yeah.
what we focused on doing is we just wrote a ton of songs and recording. So during the COVID, I'd say upwards of 12 songs written, and probably 10 of them got recorded, 8 or 10.
Wow. That's amazing. Can you put some of that on the Matured Musicians so our people can listen to them?
Yeah, we're actually still working on how we want to present this.
All right.
Whether
All right.
we're going to do a CD or just keep doing videos like we've been doing. That's another idea. So
Perfect. Well, we'll be waiting. And
yeah,
I got another comment from Raymond. He said, did COVID pull you guys closer together as a band, or did it create obstacles? Because obviously, did you meet with your band members, or how did that all work during COVID?
go ahead, Terry.
I think it pulled us closer together, actually. We ended up doing some live videos together, and we didn't have the live performance to look forward to. And so we really just looked forward to the songwriting and the collaboration that we have. And yeah, I think it really helped secure the band. Actually, I think it was good for the band to not gig and to just really hone in on our skills together.
Right. Well, during COVID, did you stream, or did you meet together, or how did you collaborate at the time?
We got
We
to
got practice.
Yeah, we
You
got
went.
Bill's house.
Oh, you went. Okay, so
Yeah.
you were brave enough to meet. During that time, I've never written a song in my life, and Raymond kind of got me started. Raymond and Jessica,
Oh.
and I wrote 8 songs that I've been putting out there, one a month, and I just put one out called "My One Desire," and that was a song that I wrote during the COVID. And I've Chad Chris produced these things for me. But yeah, those two kind of rubbed off on me, and I took the challenge. And
That's
Awesome.
congrats.
Awesome.
That's
but
great.
the problem is I write the melodies to these songs, and the music doesn't. Sometimes it comes like right away. I mean, I wrote a song called "Move Over Girls" in half an hour. And it just came to me, but other times I struggle. I mean, I've got one now that's just percolating. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but yeah, it sounds to me like your creative juices, Terry, were stimulated a lot earlier than mine, because I didn't know I had that capability. And I'm not during these holidays with the snow and Christmas coming up and everything, I didn't get the response I thought I'd get, but oh well, there's time to promote all this. It's not going to go anywhere. It's on the internet and all the streams.
That's
So
right.
do you guys go through a streaming company like CD Baby, or do you just produce all this stuff yourself and put it out there? How does this work?
Yeah, we haven't really released a whole bunch. Really, just our videos.
Okay, so you wrote them, but you haven't released them yet.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Right.
So they can see it live. I mean, we play it all live, so, but in order for people to really get their arms around your music, you have to put it out there so they can listen to it, get used to it.
So do you have any gigs coming up during in the future? Yeah. What's percolating in there?
January 8th at Jazz Bones with Octopus Ballet. Mm-hmm.
With what?
With Octopus Ballet, Leanne Trevelyan's band. You know Leanne Trevelyan?
No, I'm from the north.
Oh.
And there's an invisible barrier that separates the greater Seattle area. And I started out in the South with all the country singers back in 2000. I started, and then got cancer and had to close the band off in 2015. But everything down there is a lot different when it comes to country music and bluegrass and that whole bailiwick. I mean, there's everything down there. So I don't get there very often. I don't get the Jazz Bones. I got a leased car that doesn't give me the miles I'd like to have. So I haven't been able to get down there. But I've heard of this Jazz Bones. I'm just going to have to do it one of these days.
Ah.
And up here, what we hear mostly, the kind of music, and you need to come up north, but up here, the music world is more rock. Don't ask me why, but there are places that do country. I just haven't found them. I haven't been getting out enough during this whole COVID thing to find out where everybody is at this point. But I sure hope you guys could find a gig and come on up here. Duval, Washington has a little place, and I know that's a long way from where you're at, Puyallup, but they have a little place called the Twin Dragon, and every Sunday they do a jam. It starts from 7 to 11, and Lynn Sorensen, I don't know if you know him. He used to play bass for Jessica.
Yeah.
And both him and Doug McGrew, the drummer, who also works as part-time or fill-in drummer for Jessica, they hold this jam. And it's a good place for the owner, Mike, who's usually there because he's cooking. It's Asian food. And he listens to these bands that come in at the jams and then hires them if he judges the audience's reaction or whatever.
Oh.
I believe they usually hire for Saturday night sets. So if you get a chance and you want to come up north and you don't have to use a snowplow to get here, maybe you can. Maybe you made some inroads here because you really like your music, and I think it's a kind of thing. Out here, people have a lot of horses. They have a lot of, up in this north end on the east side where I'm at, there's just a lot of people who I think would love bluegrass and country that you're presenting. So hopefully you can come this way.
Yeah, we'd like that.
So I have, I don't know who this is. It says, yay, Troy Moss and Terry Moss. Love you guys, but I don't know who's telling you.
Love you too.
And another one says, times are tough now for artists and ever in any, well, hold on. And ever in our history. I'm not sure. As your band came together during COVID, what would your advice be for other artists out there who are still struggling and becoming jaded? Carl and Leon. You must know these people.
Yeah, that was Ray.
Is that one of your band members?
No, that's Ray again.
Oh, that's Ray.
Oh.
Raymond.
Carl and Leon are nicknames for me and my brother.
That's their alternative egos or whatever. Every once in a while, they come out.
I think he thinks I need some help in questioning here, so I'll take it, Raymond.
Well, he's comic relief for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Thanks, Ray.
We have a thing, Raymond and I. Yeah, I bought him some. I go to Jessica's fan club meetings on Thursday, the Rebels fan club, from 5 to 6-ish every Thursday. And I got this bar of vegetable soap to give to Raymond whenever he feels the urge to, Guys, it's fun. But anyway, so that question was, your advice would be to other artists who are struggling out there. And I think that's a valid question, Raymond. So I certainly want that one answered. Who'd like to start?
Go ahead, Troy.
Okay. Well, it's different for everybody because everyone has a different comfort level with exposure. With underlying issues, you're not going to want to get out as much. I think it's important to still with your band. It's a great opportunity now without so many live shows.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
I see it as an opportunity to just get together more often and do the homework side of the business, writing and just really understanding your bandmates and how they play and how you all interact together. It's an opportunity to really spend some good quality time doing that.
Yes. Obviously, obviously you're taking your own advice.
Oh, yes.
So what are your thoughts on that, Terry, from the female perspective?
Well, I think that, from the female perspective, well, I mean, I think that Troy said it pretty much, but I think that it can't be an excuse for you not to work hard, to continue to move forward, So, I mean, we can all get in a little puddle and not want to get out of it, but it certainly helps having other people around you that want to continue to collaborate. And so there's been times where Troy and I are like, oh, band practice tonight. I just want to, lay down and watch a movie or whatever. And, but we're just like, nope, we're going. Then once we're there, we're just like, yay, we're so glad. That was awesome. So I really think that people that are in bands should make sure that they're, continuing to help that flourish by collaboration and getting together. And I have always I mean, boys are boys, you know, they never change. I've always gotten along with boys pretty well, and so it's definitely a boy majority band, and so I sort of have to put myself in a cap on and act like one of the dudes sometimes in this
Yeah,
band. So.
I get that. I get that. Yeah, I haven't started a band and I up again, and been a little hesitant to do so because of COVID. And my husband works in healthcare, so uh, we usually find out ahead of time what's coming and about how long it's going to last, and you know what they know about it because of that. And I'm vulnerable, so I'm holding back. But I don't know if I'll even find anybody anymore. So, I mean, I get rockers up here, not country players or not bluegrass or, you know. So anyway, uh,
Well,
yeah.
once it calms down, hopefully it does. You know, we'll have a fam jam, and then you can come to one of the fam
Oh, I
jams.
would love that.
We love doing that. That's so much fun.
That
All
would be
right.
perfect, Joy.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I
That's what
have,
Circa was talking about, you know, that we
ah,
do. Yeah. So we always invite her and Sean to come and jam, and they do their own songs, and then we all jam together. And
that sounds like fun.
yeah, yeah. And Ray and Jess too. We've gone to our cabin and had those guys out there and just jammed and just had a good time. Yeah.
Where's your cabin? I'll bet it's snowed in. Where's your cabin?
Ashford. Ashford.
It's right outside Mount Rainier National Park.
Okay. Yeah, I know where that is. We
Yeah.
went there, stayed in
Uh,
a lodge up there. So not in that particular town, but close to it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I love to do something like that, and it's been a long time because all the senior centers are closed. Um, I play for the Bothell Senior Center as a volunteer musician, and there's about 12 of us or so that play different instruments, so we get all kinds of music. I mean, I'm the country singer, but everybody else does whatever, and it's great fun. But I missed them. It's been almost 2 years since our last gig. In fact, I don't know. Do you remember that life care place in this area in Redmond where the COVID in that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
that was our last gig. And as we were, doing the last of our gig, they were telling us to leave. That they had flu there. This was in December, and I got sick in January and through February with I don't know if it was COVID, but it had all the symptoms. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that was our last gig, and Redmond's senior center is now gone. So and I belong to that band too, and there's nothing there anymore. So it's getting a little tricky for us matured musicians.
Yeah.
To get out and this time I'm talking about age, not skills when I say musicians. Okay, so we got another comment here. This Troy, I've seen you nail hard rock guitar solos. How is the stats music different as far as the enjoyment and satisfaction you get from playing?
Oh, it's great. What an excellent question. I miss playing rock. I really do. So this is quite a bit different. Playing an acoustic instrument, it's a whole different touch and feel and sound. And I just do my best to have a musical conversation with the other people in the band. So that's playing, I don't get to play my hard rock solos in this band because it needs to be appropriate for what everyone else is doing.
Exactly.
But that's very challenging for me to do that. So I'm learning a ton and it keeps my interest up. It might sound like I'm playing a lot simpler parts, but actually I'm learning so much new chord voicings. And really, I'm learning in our band how to stay out of each other's way, how to not stomp on somebody else. And it's been really interesting.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah. Terry's got the better part. She's the singer. So, the focus on her is different than the focus on the lead guitar and the other instruments. So I get that. We had to tell our leads from time to time when we had the band to take to blend in more as a group, and it's not always taken as well as it should be.
Right.
But yeah, and I do notice, Terry, that you must have had some kind of acting experience or something, because you put a lot of zest into your singing. I mean, a lot of movement, and you bring the music alive when you sing.
Yeah, I've always been weird like that.
Sorry, how did that all happen?
Well, I've always been. I took dance when I was younger. Not that shows in my performance. However, I don't know. Music just makes me move. It makes me. I can't stop my hands from doing things. And I have to tell you that I was at Wintergrass. We go to Wintergrass. Well, we used to.
Yeah.
And we went to a class, and the gal, we got up and did a song, and I did my thing, and the gal was like, okay, now you guys go back up there, and Terry, you put your hands down to your side, because we just need to hear the voice. We just want to hear, you need to express from the voice and not your hands. And so it was so hard, but I did it, and I didn't feel natural at all doing it. And then as I was walking down, and she's like, oh, now, how was that? That was just so much better. And I'm walking down, going back to my seat, and everybody's going, don't stop using your hands. You gotta express. Don't listen to that.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't stop myself. It just comes naturally. I'm just a weirdo.
Well, I think it's great. I really do. I don't have the freedom to do that when I sing. I'm playing.
Well, you have a guitar in your hand, so.
And yeah, and that guitar is a good place to hide, I also play percussion instruments when I have a band. If there's something that I feel that they could do without me, that they could do better, because I had 5 people in my band, so we had a lot of company. Yeah. So yeah, I enjoy seeing you and Serka put the movement into music. So
thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome. So there's somebody, I don't know if this is Raymond or not, but he says, you miss Mrs. Miss? You do, you Mrs. You do you, Mrs. Miss. Okay, sorry, no comments here. That must be Raymond. I think that was Keep It Up.
Yeah.
So how in the world, if I may ask, did you guys get involved with Raymond and Jessica? How did that all come about? Just meeting in these different places that she's played, or you played?
Maurice the Fish, right, Troy?
So my old band, the Moss Brothers Band, we were playing a show down at the Fifth Ave Tav in Olympia.
Okay.
And Raymond's band, gosh, what were they called again? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Come on, Ray, help us out.
Free band. But that's where I met Raymond, and we just hit it off. He told us about Maurice the Fish Records, which was, I'm sure you're familiar with that. Oh, you need to ask Raymond about that. That's a story unto itself. So anyways, yeah, I met him, and I think immediately started getting together, meeting with him, every couple of weeks or something, and seeing him at shows. So that was a long time ago. That was probably, I bet it was in 2010, maybe even earlier than that. Yeah.
And to think I never ran into him in all that time I was out there. Excuse me. Yeah, what is this? that called? The fish? What
So
is?
Maurice the Fish is basically outward appearance. It was a record label, and you have
Oh,
to be invited to be part of this. But in actual reality, and Raymond, I apologize if I'm butchering this, it was really a networking group, and it was about supporting local artists instead of competing against one another. Why don't
yeah.
we actually go up and show up at their shows and help promote them, help each other out. So it really was a group of musicians that had a common goal of helping each other out.
Yeah, well, that sounds like Raymond. Jessica. By the way, Jessica just said, "Hey guys," she just popped in here.
Hey, Jessica.
Yeah, so Jessica's, at least she was on for a minute. It looks like she's still here. And Raymond said, "You nailed it, Papa Moss."
Oh, perfect. Good. Good.
So, yeah, was this through that something, Tim? Is it Tim Ted Brown music? Was that part? You were part of that, or
No.
not that? Okay.
Well, you were part of that for a little bit, remember?
Ted Brown?
You coached. Well, no, that's the
Oh,
kids
I'm
thing.
talking Live It Out Loud.
Live it out loud.
I
Yeah.
just judged. I judged one of their live
Okay.
competitions or
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Somehow I knew they're involved there somehow. And Jessica says, "I'm here. Sorry I'm late."
You're good, girl.
Oh, I love that. I don't know if you saw that film of hers. She did a video of delivering packages during COVID for Christmas. They were so cute.
I haven't seen that. I need to check it out.
Anyway, she said, "Live Out Loud." The program is called the Live It Out Loud program, and you can find it at liveitoutloud.net. So anybody out there who hears that, we don't always get a lot of people that are listening that identify themselves when we're on the air, but a lot of people watch after they get off work or whatever, and they go to Facebook and see it there. I'm not Facebook. Yeah, my Facebook page. Yeah. Sorry. And then eventually I put it on YouTube, so there's more views. So for people out there that need that information, it will be out there. So
it's a great support, by the way.
What was that?
The Live It Out Loud program is a great program.
Yes.
We support. It does wonderful.
Yes. I even went on there and sang a song, even though I'm not a kid. I did it.
Good for you.
I didn't do it very well, but I did it.
I'm sure you did great.
She says, haha, thanks, Joy. I think she means about that video. She played Santa for Christmas this year, and it was just darling. If you get a chance to see that video, do watch it. It's
nice.
Sweet. Anyway, so she was the how would I, maybe the COVID Santa helper, Santa. Anyway, so going forward, you've been together for 3 years. What have you got coming up in the future? What things are percolating other than these songs and figuring out a way to present them? Who wants to answer that one?
Go ahead, Terry.
Oh, that was cool, Terry.
We have several songs that are almost to the point of releasing. We're just trying to figure out, how we want to do that besides our live performance, because obviously now, since we've been during COVID just hunkering down and writing, we don't even have to play any cover tunes because we have so much material right now that that we've really got our plate full with trying to get them out. We have, how many songs do we have right now, Troy, that we need to get out that have been percolating?
Already recorded and mastered. I think we have 8 to 10, somewhere right in there. I think 8. Yeah.
Okay. So we're just trying to figure out the right avenue, but we do need to get them out. I don't know. We've talked about it. I think maybe releasing one song at a time. Some of the guys think that having a CD is something that we should do, because then you have something you're holding on to.
Right.
It just, I think for our age, that's probably true. But the younger generation, they just want to, get it online and put it in
Yeah.
their phone,
Well, it's kind of, Jessica is, like you said, Jessica and Raymond were my mentors, and Jessica was involved as I was trying to get my songs out there, and she sang back up, and Ray played on some of them. And one of the things that I did, based on some of the things Jessica was saying to me, was to release one a month, which I have been doing. And I think about February and March, I'll be releasing the album with all those songs in it. And I don't know, for me that worked. She just offered a suggestion here. She said, "Have you guys thought of making vinyl?" So anyway, that's a couple ideas there. I think because we're relatively unknown, at least I am, doing a one a month hasn't given me as much feedback as I'd like as far as who's watching it. But on the other hand, I don't see a lot of where these things are streaming. So you may not, if you put something out there through stream, you may not see the results for a while, but it is really a good way to get music out right now, because people are used to looking for music on stream. And that's, either through the stream services, or if you have, you do a streaming show or whatever, as well as live. I mean, I don't think that just one discounts the other. So that's one suggestion, and I'm sure you guys will come up with your own version of how you want to do this. But I'm anxious to hear it, and I hope you keep us at Matured Musicians updated on what you've got and when it's out there, so that we can listen.
Will do.
And then she says, as long as you love what you're doing, that's all that matters. Eventually, those who feel the same will connect. Keep in mind that 60,000 songs a day get released.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But on the other hand, it is a whole new venue for people that aren't national stars. I mean, well, bar present company, but for the for the independent songwriters, like myself, for instance, yeah, I think that stream is the only thing I've got right now, because I haven't put a band together because of COVID, and I don't know what's happening, and we'll see what happens in the future. But I've had my share, and I think the biggest thing that I did was, I have a page. I have a country hot music page on Facebook, and this Matured Musicians group, which attracts a lot of people. So it's in the marketing. If you just put a song out there, it's not going to go anywhere. You really have to market it online if you want to get the attention.
We've had some pretty good luck with just Facebook. I mean, I think we have 14,000 views on.
So that is wonderful. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, there you go. So when you look back over this 3-year time, which was interrupted with this whole COVID mess, were there any outstanding moments or things with the band that you treasured, that were unexpected, that left you with a aha moment?
Yeah, I got one for that.
Okay.
So we were planning on going into a recording studio, and so we were going to take a weekend for pre-production, go up to our cabin and work on how we were going to proceed in the studio when we got there. So we would take advantage of, be speedy, so it didn't cost us so much money, right?
Yeah.
So we go to the cabin, and we brought some recording gear ourselves so we could hear what we were going to do there. And we discovered that our cabin is an amazing room for music.
Ooh.
And so we scrapped our plans and did all our recording out at the cabin, and we'll continue to do so. And you see it in one of our videos there, the one that Phil sings, I believe, that was done at our cabin.
Okay.
So you can see we recorded.
Yeah, I have to go back and listen to these again. Since I don't know you guys and I haven't been following you, you know, I didn't even know who you were until I had Sick on, and she was telling me about you guys. I had no clue. So then I started looking it up, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm missing something here big time. So what about you, Terry? Was there anything during this whole period of time that was outstanding in something that you felt was an aha moment?
I don't know if it's aha. I think that the experience has been one of growth for me, because I feel when I first started on, you know, in front of people, which our very first gig we had was at Ray and Jess's house at one of their house parties. So that was really cool, but I was so nervous. I was just so nervous, and I didn't feel grounded in my own feet yet, you know. And so so I think throughout the time, I think my aha moment is that I just have to feel comfortable in myself and know what I'm doing, and then I just get up there and it's just so much fun. So the aha moment is that it's so much fun to perform live, and I love doing it with the guys because they are absolutely amazing musicians, and my husband in particular, but the other guys too. I mean, they're just, it's amazing. And they switch their instruments around and I get to do the talking, and Troy's like, talk to the people. I'm like, okay. So I've learned to like interact with the audience a little bit, and you know, so that's a big growth thing too, you know. So
absolutely.
I'm feeling my aha moment is that I feel more grounded and in my shoes when I'm on stage now, and I'm not as nervous as I used to be because I'm more comfortable with everything. So,
all right.
Yeah. Have the support of wonderful bandmates. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. I know exactly what you're saying. It took me a while. And even now, when I do something at a jam, you know, God knows what they're going to play. I mean, they don't know my music. Yeah. My mouth goes completely dry, and it's kind of ugly. Jessica put something here, hashtag cabin sessions.
Yeah.
What is that?
So we were playing our recordings we had done at our cabin for Raymond and Jessica suggested that we release those songs as the cabin sessions, which I think is a wonderful idea.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So is this on Twitter? I mean, it's a hashtag. So
no.
How does this, where do you put this to get there?
Well, it's not available for anyone to listen to.
Not yet.
Actually,
she's suggesting that that's what we should be doing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what we should do, hashtags.
Yeah. All right, got it. Okay. Oh, well. So they do say, somebody else says, Troy Moss and Terry Moss hope to see you at Jazz Bones. Happy New Year.
Yes.
And someone else says, both Troy and Terry don't seem to age. Is it the music and the passion that comes with the magic that keeps them so young and vivacious? Question mark. So somebody has to answer this one.
Go ahead, Terry.
Go ahead,
I know he's not going to let you pass it off.
You look way more youthful than I do. You better take this.
Oh, stop it! You look youthful too. Good genes. That's a good thing. And then I think that having commonalities within a relationship definitely keeps you strong and young together. You know, and music in itself is creative, and so anything you're doing that's creative is going to keep keep you vivacious and younger, So instead of just sitting around not using that creativity that everybody has inside them,
Yes.
if you're doing it as a couple, it definitely does keep you more engaged. And I don't know about youthful, but maybe more playful.
Well, I think that the music is a healer, and that's been proven time and time again. And I also think that when you keep your mind busy learning lyrics and songs and playing instruments like your band does and you do, Troy, I think that does keep you younger, and it's reflected in your body because it's going through your mind. It just keeps. I mean, I think people that are over 60 who just they sit around all day or watch TV or whatever and interact with their families, but they're not active in any other way. That can be very aging. So you're keeping vital and you're bringing that vitality to your music. And I'm sure your fans appreciate that. And I certainly do. So there you go.
Thank you, Joy.
You're welcome. So finally, we have about 5 minutes left on this broadcast. And I think that one of the questions here about what advice you'd give. You kind of touched on that, but I'd like to go a little bit deeper if I could. As far as given your backgrounds and given what you do, and given the situation right now with the COVID still hitting us every now and then, what if you could bring all of the people who are listening here that are musicians into that jam session, what would you advise them about the music and about the act of actually sitting down and jamming like that? What would be your advice to them?
That's a tricky one. So I really think what it is, it's a lot of people when they play, they focus on what they're doing on their part.
Yeah.
But if you can really listen to what everyone else is doing around you, and then you can interact with each other, it could just be like one thing Kevin and I do. We'll just lock in on the strum pattern and just be super tight. Whereas if we weren't listening to each other, that would never happen.
Yes.
So it's a musical conversation. That is
there it is.
Yes.
I agree with you.
That is what I think is the key, at least for what I like to do anyways.
All right. I like that answer. And you, Terry, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, if you're talking about a fam jam, like what we did or do, what we want to do in the future, I think that if you are coming together with other musicians, that you need to make sure that have the mindset that it's about everybody and not just about yourself. And there should be somebody, this is technical. What we do is, it's usually Kevin will make sure that everybody gets their time and gets their chance. And and everybody just pitches in their part on their instrument or singing background or whatever. So it's a nice collaboration. Absolutely. So if that was part of the question too, I thought.
Yes.
I like coming together.
Collaboration. I like that word. I like that because that's what it sounds like. And I think that's essential for any musician out there. That's just an ingredient that makes everything richer. So one last comment here. It looks like Donald. Donald, I hope I don't slaughter your name. Malidore, Malidore, Malidore. I've never met him in person, so I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he said, "Hi, Troy Moss and Terry Moss. Pleased to see you here!" Exclamation mark.
Nice. Good to see you.
And then somebody is saying, "Sweet Thang and the Stumblers are one of the best examples of why collaboration is so important in the Pacific Northwest and beyond." And I couldn't agree more. and
That's right.
yes, and I understand this by going to jams when the jams in this North End are out here, and all these people come up, and they go on the stage one by one or in a band. But even the people that are sitting there listening to that and not necessarily playing with them, but just listening, that's a form of collaboration too.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and a lot of the people that do this have actually started bands of their own and have worked on songwriting. So I think that definitely shows the end results of that. And somebody also said, such a great program. I don't know which one they're talking about, but if it's this one, that's what I hope to do. I hope to bring musicians on and get to share with them how they got where they are and what they're doing now and where they're going in the future. So
Right.
I do hope to hear from both of you again, and I hope I get a chance and the weather clears up and all to hear you live. I think that would be very, very, very wonderful.
We would love that too.
All right, guys. So I do want to thank everybody listening today. And as I said earlier, when I opened my program, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Troy. And Terry, thank you for coming on and sharing your lives, musical lives with us. And I will be putting this. Oh, one more comment. It says, I video recorded you guys a few years ago in Sumner at the street fair.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I played there too once. I just loved it. Anyway, Jessica says, thanks, Joy. Thanks, Troy. And thanks, Terry. And I think that's a good place to end. I hope you guys come back soon. Thank you so much
for having us.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Keep making music.
Will do.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.